That was a fast one.
Welcome back to Premier League Pints after a slight delay of a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been a while. Great introduction for Clayton spilling his beer. So we have been not living near each other, and now we are. So it makes life easier
To do this and record, and we added somebody else to our
Would
panel.
you like to introduce yourself?
By the way, anyone listening, he waved to the camera as if you're listening to this, you could see that.
Watch on YouTube. Premier League Pints.
I'm Matt. I'm a Villa fan.
Boo.
Boo, you guys. And I'm new.
You are new.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a great.
Yeah,
that's a
I
great.
don't know what else to say.
That's pretty
Very,
good.
very happy to have Matt on the pod.
Yeah, we think.
I guess we could go around just as a reminder to all the listeners,
Or
who
to
we
new
are,
listeners.
Yeah,
who we
new
are and what we
listeners.
support. So yeah, old and new. So I'm Dan. I'm an Arsenal fan.
We just heard from Clayton, the Villa fan over there. I'm Brian. I'm the Man U fan.
And Garrett, the Man City fan. Let's go treble. Woo.
And let me get ahead of
Now it
this.
took exactly 1 minute for him to bring that up.
no,
Actually, it took a minute.
It was
No,
on the dot.
it was a minute.
Did we set an over under, or did we not set an
No,
over?
we ain't said
Okay.
okay. Let me just get ahead of this for the people who listen and or watch. I say Man U. I got shit for that
Oh,
last
we
time.
did because there was apparently a big deal. You're not supposed to say
not supposed to
Man U or
say
something.
Man United.
You know, Kenny Fellows is actually telling me about that.
Yeah, it's a whole big ordeal.
Well, these people don't know who Kenny is.
Yeah.
So that's a friend of
Kenny
yours.
is my college roommate. And he is a Newcastle fan. And I called Man U United. And he said, no, that's Newcastle.
Yeah, but so you can't say Man U or you can't say United. You have to say Man United.
But it's funny because like some people would actually argue about it in the comments. Like people from England would be like, "It's not that big of a deal," and people would be like very like really debate it. And I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of interesting. It helps our comments out."
People just need to complain about something.
Yeah,
So,
it's always fun.
So why not complain about us?
Yeah. And the last thing that people are going to complain about is, yes, we're American and we call it soccer. However, for those of you who yell at us, we are going to London in December and we're seeing
All of our teams.
all of our teams are going to
Yeah.
play, including a crappy Chelsea team. Sorry, Ant, they stink.
All right,
Anyway,
that's enough intro for the moment.
yeah. So for those of you who haven't listened, new or in a while, all we do is really sit here and bullshit about soccer and drink beer. So that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right. So let's talk about. You guys want to even talk about last season? We just skip over it. It's kind of
I think
bullshit
it
here.
was
Nah,
fantastic.
dude, I don't want to talk about
I mean, I had a good time.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Like as much as I had a great year, and City obviously won the treble. I mean, Matt's Villa team was maybe the
So-
most surprising after maybe one of the worst starts they've had.
I don't want this.
I'll be the first to say I didn't think Jared was going to cut it from like day one. But I also thought we were going to give him more time than we did.
I mean, I would say not cutting it would be an understatement, but you know.
It's a good thing you didn't give him any more time. Because I mean, appointing Emery was a great decision.
Oh, yeah. I thought we was a little bit of a reach when we were even linked with him. And then now I'm just absolutely thrilled. that
Good
he's there.
evening.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
I had a question too. You go first.
Oh, okay.
My question was aimed towards you. So
Oh, mine was aimed towards Dan.
okay.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
who wants to go first? Me.
You
or
go first.
Okay, so Clayton, we just heard, right? Oh, you had a great year. Blah, 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 we did whatever. Garrett, yeah, shut up. So I wanted to ask Dan something.
Go ahead. Shoot. I know what it's going to be.
How do you feel? Because you guys led the league for, I don't know, 80% of the season.
Probably longer, but yeah.
How do you feel about choking that away and being the biggest bottle job known to mankind? Thoughts?
Okay.
I would say no to mankind.
I'll be honest.
That's fine.
Yeah, obviously it's upsetting. You want to win the league, but we had no expectations going into the season. So I mean, finishing second and like just seeing the progress from the previous season to this season, I'll take it. Obviously, wish we would have won the league, but we're in Champions League. We're building our squad, so I'm trying to look at the positives here.
There you go. That's fair.
Yeah, you
That's
have
fair.
to.
So my question for you
Oh, Christ help me.
was, as the team that had won the treble and really the only one, how does it feel?
To win the treble?
No, to be like not the only one now.
No.
I just want to know how it feels.
To not be the...
Like to not be the only team that's
I mean,
accomplished the feat.
It's about damn time. Someone finally did it.
I mean, so interesting response, but
Good for you.
He's
I mean,
bitter.
listen,
no bitter.
Listen, it's a fake treble. They never got the repercussions from cheating because they're cheaters.
Or there was none.
They bought it. They bought the best player in every position. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would be jumping up and down if we did that. But you bought the best striker.
Our owners suck. We can't do that. Our owners are
I mean, you
trash.
guys spend just as much money with just not as much success.
Us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, because we buy the wrong things.
Right.
Yeah, because our owners are, again, trash. I don't know. What were we talking about? Oh, last year, yeah. So, obviously, we had a couple teams.
By the way, that's this year's table, which
I'm
is at 0.
switching it, you dunce. Oh, crap. No, I'm not.
There we go.
So, we had a couple teams go down.
3, to be exact.
Yeah, we had Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton.
Like every year.
Was that surprising to anybody, or did we think any of them were going to stay up, or we kind of like, yeah, I saw it coming, or I could see that.
Leicester
Yeah.
expected to stay up.
I didn't see Leicester going down.
That's fair.
Then again, with their players didn't really play. Vardy is not who he was anymore. Finally, after like 8 years of us thinking like can't do it anymore, whatever it was, we're like, yeah, he's finally getting old and like can't actually be the savior that he was for years.
Yeah, but they still have like a quality. They had quality players, but for
Yeah,
some reason
Yuri
they just couldn't get the
Tillmans,
results.
Harvey Barnes. They had good
Madison.
Madison.
Are you hold on?
I think
Wait,
Are you gonna just slide Harvey Barnes in there like you don't?
I hate
Dis-
Harvey
then
Barnes.
why did you
I
just call
think
him?
he's-
You just called him a quality player.
Yeah,
Well, to stay up, yeah, but I think he's a terrible player.
you're just bitter that Villa didn't get him.
I'm so happy we didn't get him.
You wanted him so bad.
I wanted nothing less.
But yeah, I would say I'm surprised Leicester. I mean, Southampton, they've been a mainstay in the Premier League for the last couple of years, but they've been on the downward trend over the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
really not too surprising. I'm surprised Ward-Prowse hasn't got anywhere yet, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I was also gonna say, I mean Everton. I don't think anyone saw them finishing 17th
I was just
going
going to say
into the
that.
year.
Yeah, and honestly, the way they I don't know, about halfway through the season, I was like, they're done. I mean, they were going to go down at one point. Like,
I mean, they were fought to the last day, right? I think it
The
was
second
last day.
they
got
got
it by
the
a point,
Ginger
2 points.
Mourinho, I knew they were staying up. The
Yeah,
second
the
Sean Dyche
savior.
walked in there. 4-4-2, hoof it, and hope for the best. And it
hope to
worked.
get any
It,
results.
it did work. And then on the flip side of that, the 4 teams that will be going to Champions League next year, 3 of our teams will. Clayton is.
Dude, Europa Conference, I'm absolutely ecstatic.
I mean,
I will take off every Thursday between now and the final. Are you
Save-
kidding me? My
save up those
PTO is
vacations.
gone.
Yeah. If you're Clayton's boss, don't listen to this. But I mean, I guess maybe Newcastle. Are these the 4 teams you thought would be up there? Like, which team do you think should have cracked the top 4? Like in the beginning of the year, this team's in there and they just didn't do it. Is there any team? Yeah.
I think Chelsea, Liverpool, and Spurs are the big 3.
I honestly think Liverpool was maybe the most
Yeah.
surprising. I mean, people at the beginning of the season last year. Again, this is going way back to last August, but people still had City Liverpool as
Yeah.
the fight that was
Yeah.
going to happen, and then it just didn't turn out that way. Liverpool had maybe one of the worst defensive seasons they've had.
Yeah.
So I think they were probably
They waxed
on
us
the top
7-0.
level of the side, probably the most shocking to not make it. The Champions League, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I'm not really surprised that Chelsea didn't make it, to be honest with you. I think they're just garbage.
I think they shouldn't have sacked Tuchel.
I don't
agree
either.
with that.
Yeah.
I also
think if they were going to hire Potter, at least give the guy the rest of the season.
Potter?
I think Potter was out of his depth. Graham Potter, Brian?
Oh.
Graham Potter.
Yeah.
What's my mind?
No, Harry Potter.
I thought you were trying to say Poch, and I was like,
No,
what the
Harry
fuck?
Potter. Harry Potter. Jesus.
You see, now I got you saying
Graham
Harry
Potter. I think if you're going to give him the job halfway through, at least let him. I mean, bringing in Lampard for those games was maybe the dumbest,
That was
most waste of
ridiculous.
time.
You see how he did at Everton. So I mean,
Right, like it was just so
Yeah.
dumb. Like you knew you weren't going to hire him. He was an interim manager. I feel like they thought. I mean, the fans won't hate him too much because they can't. Because he's still a club legend, regardless if he's the worst manager to ever step on a field.
which he is.
He's definitely up there, I would say.
You seen
Yeah.
some of Man U's managers? They're pretty trash. Since Ferguson,
But,
we've got some trash managers.
But I mean, the whole Chelsea managerial.
Carousel.
Thank you. I was going to say merry-go-round, but that's not really the word
I got
was
you.
looking for. I mean, that was just a joke almost at the end of the season. Chelsea fans had to just be so they probably wanted the season to end more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just ask our friend Ant. We'll try to get him on the pod at some
We'll
point
get him,
this
yeah.
year.
I think Ant was crying himself to sleep every night by the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would text us before each game, ready to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he.
But I've been there, brother. I've been there.
Yeah, that kid's got some problems. Now let's go to the teams who came up, shall we?
Sure.
Burnley,
I think they'll stay up.
phenomenal
I think.
season. Right.
Company.
Yeah,
Good
been the company only team to crack 100 points in the championship this year easily. Sheffield, who we've seen, what was that last year? 2 years ago? They were here.
Well, obviously not last year, but the year before.
Yes, I meant
Yeah.
the year before. And then the team everybody saw, Luton Town. We all saw this, right, guys?
I mean, I think everyone was excited to see it.
Everyone
at
was
least.
rooting for it once they heard about their stadium.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
the big thing. It was the viral picture of their stadium. I think that really got so many people behind them that really weren't aware of their
Yeah.
chances of going up. And that picture went up, and everyone was just like, "Can you imagine seeing these big teams play there?"
But hey, they did what they had to do.
Yeah, they got up.
in the playoffs. So
They're up, so
again, their chance. And then they just signed someone, right? They signed.
I forget who.
Oh, it's gonna slip my mind.
You
I'll
got a
have to
laptop
check.
in front of you.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, we'll touch on this later, but when we get there to, this upcoming season and predictions and our thoughts, excited to see what we all think about where these 3 teams are going to finish. right? Because 3 teams come up. Let's see where they finish, and then I don't know who the hell knows going to have that. What do you want, my
I'm
life?
not gonna lie, I forgot to put our own Wi-Fi password into my
You
laptop.
goddamn.
It just asked me to share it to you. Actually,
Did you share it?
no.
That's
I
all.
was
I'll-
like, "Why you live
Yeah.
here? Why are you?"
Yeah, I'll share it with you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. See, Clayton, we just do this shit live, and no one really knows what's going on. It says sharing. We'll get there eventually. All right. So we talked kind of about the table from last year. Let's jump into the awards that were handed out last year. Obviously, we have the winner. Yeah, Garrett. Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Top scorer. Yeah, Erling Haaland. Yeah.
Oh, come on. We're just going to pass over
Yeah.
Holland.
Yeah, that
Come
was-
on.
Yeah,
I
it's-
mean, wait, let's
Yeah, talk about it.
I tried. I really did
Go
try.
ahead, Garrett, kick us off.
Yeah, kick us off.
I will be honest. I did not expect him. Obviously, I thought he was going to be good because obviously he was the kind of striker. I mean, Guerrero was a legend, don't get me wrong. But Holland was like, as much as we played on the wing, Holland's the kind of target guy you want in the box. I mean, and a lethal finisher. I still didn't think he was going to have the season he had.
No.
I mean, you watch Manchester City absolutely change the way they were playing. They used to do tiki-taka, and they're going to walk it into the back of the net. And then they kind of went from, okay, there's a 6-foot whatever Norwegian standing in the box somewhere. Just throw it in there. He'll get it. And some of the goals he scored just from the absolute athletic ability he had was just insane.
But
He
it's also,
contorts
like-
his body.
It's also getting in the right place at the right time. Like, he's so good at, like, getting into those open spaces and just, like, knowing where to be. And, like, to your point in, like, you know, having to change their tactics and kind of set up and everything, that just, like, speaks volumes to Pep and what he, you know, how good of a manager he is. I mean, literally changing the foundation of the team to, you know, include Holland, and look at what it did for them.
Yeah.
So there's one thing, and every time we, you know, because we watch as many games as we can, whether it's here, at the bars, whatever. Shout out Darcy's, by the way. There's one thing I always say every time Holland scores. And I say, oh, tap in, whatever. In reality, I would give my left arm for somebody who could actually score those tap-ins on Man U, because we have no real striker. And you're right. I think I'm kind of with you, Garrett. I thought he was going to be a great player, but I didn't expect it this quick. And again, now to Dan's point, like that they changed the entire, you know, tactics of the team and just to get him the ball, and he's in the right spot at all times. It's impressive, like by him and by Pep. I don't know.
Before he got there, they weren't even playing with a real striker, right? Wasn't
No.
KDB like playing like
No, they literally were playing with
a
no.
false- yeah.
Last year, Jesus wouldn't even start when they
Yeah.
had him, or 2 years ago, I guess we could technically say at this point. But yeah, no, we literally played the whole half the season without a striker.
Yeah.
It was just players switching out roles, and Jesus would come on late. And now we have, you know, the best striker in the world. So
Wait,
it's a
you
nice change.
you went half the season? Oh, we went a full season with no striker. Oh.
You don't have Nketiah on your team.
You have Weghurst instead.
So now we have. I think we just mentioned it. 'Cause I think Dan, you just said something about De Bruyne being their striker at one point. He was voted the playmaker of the season.
Love that.
I mean, yeah, he had 16 assists, and when you get the ball and you look up and you just see, you know, a giant goon there to put it in the net. I mean, just give it to him, I guess. Right?
Oh, he's a goon with lethal finishing. That kind of helps. You could be tall, you could be Weghurst and be a goon. Doesn't mean you can actually score.
Hey, whoa. Lakers
Just saying.
trash. Moving on. Hey, we got something.
What awards are you looking at?
Oh, he got the golden glove.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just on some website. Who
And
knows?
now he's out of contract.
yeah. Now he's gone.
Oh no. What? Sorry. De Gea gets the Golden Glove.
Don't get us copyright stricken or copywritten. I don't even know.
copy stricken.
Copyright-
Copyright stricken.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking
Who
for.
cares? 17 clean sheets. I mean, it. In all honesty, if they don't have De Gea, I mean, he had flashes back to when he first joined the team and they won the league. Like he had those couple of years where he was absolutely terrible, and it was like, is he done? Is he done? But he finishes out his contract. He gets 17 clean sheets, and I think if we have any other goalie in, we don't make Champions League.
I mean, that's a club legend, and over the last couple of years, he's easily kept you guys relevant in the top four. Top
100%. So, Clayton, can I just say something real quick? Your voice sounds phenomenal in these headphones.
Thanks, Brian.
You also have to talk a little bit louder. Sure.
Oh, am I talking too quiet?
This is
He
lovely.
sounds fantastic, though. I'll tell you that right now.
He's a little bit better. Okay.
But yeah, so at least that's something that we can be happy about. Yeah, I don't really know what website I'm on.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at
this
this.
is just like you are on like some random.
Yeah, dude, because I'm just clicking around, doing what I do, you know?
But I forgot who got young player last year. Was it Holland again? Did he win both?
I think it was Foden.
No.
I don't know.
Saka.
Saka. That makes more sense.
And this is NBC Sports, so you know they're real.
Yeah, that
People
makes sense.
forget that he's still only like 21 years old.
Yeah,
22.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he's 21. The three of us, not Clayton, we got to go see Man U play Arsenal not too long ago in person. And at one point, Dan made the comment like he's the best player. He was the best player on your team. He completely and easily, I got you, changes the game. Like 110%. It was get him the ball on the outside, and no matter, I think it was Luke Shaw at one point, and it was a great battle to watch down that side the whole time. But I want to say more than half the time, I think Saka took him on, got to the end line, and was able to put a ball in a dangerous area.
Yeah.
He's such a game changer and a playmaker for them.
About the only bright spot about that game for us, but yeah, it was great to see him in person. But yeah, again, like he's only going to continue to grow and continue to like become a better player. So I'm excited to see what he does for us.
Think he ends up being a lifer or no?
I sure hope so.
So
I think so.
So I just want to run through this because I'm just kind of looking at this real quick. We have according to NBC Sports, we have the best 11 of the year. And I'm just looking through this. I want to see if you guys agree. So in the back, the two center backs are Ruben Diaz and William Saliba. Do we agree? Anyone should have beat them out?
Yeah.
At center back? Garrett?
I'd agree.
Ruben Diaz and who was it?
Saliba.
I don't
Center
think
backs?
Diaz played the best year he's ever had.
Yeah.
I think his first year and his second year in the Prem, he was incredible, and this year he wasn't as good. But he was still a world-class center back. And
I think he
don't
played
think
great.
that's,
Yeah.
Next we have the outside backs. We have
Oh God, don't say outside backs, not again. Do you remember we got absolutely roasted for that? We literally had to defend ourselves to the grave about saying the word outside backs.
So at outside back,
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I was on TikTok for hours.
Garrett was just fighting people.
Arguing
It was
with
so
people.
fucking funny. We have Trippier and
Speaking of TikTok, League Pints.
Trippier and Luke Shaw.
yeah.
I mean,
Trippier definitely. Luke Shaw, yeah, I think he had a good season too.
yeah. What, Garrett?
I would argue.
City did not have a single
No,
outside
I
back
wasn't
all
arguing.
season.
You had
Zinchenko.
Cancelo,
I
but he
didn't argue
left.
Shaw.
Did you say Zinchenko?
Yeah.
He fell off. At the
I
end of the
feel like,
season.
he started strong. He's definitely important for like what we're trying to play with the inverted, the inverted outside back.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a much different position than Shaw plays a little bit.
Yeah.
For United, but
You have three. You have three more Man City players in there. Give us one.
I wasn't even arguing against you guys. I wasn't even arguing for City. I was arguing for Arsenal.
Oh,
Zinchenko's on Arsenal.
Yeah.
I forgot he left City.
Oh,
Shit.
God.
You are just this is a
Dude,
tough
I'm in
pod
shambles.
for you, man.
Yeah. That's a
All right,
tough
going
one.
to the midfield, bro.
Rodri, De Bruyne, and Odegaard. He's on Arsenal. I know that.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm a fucking genius.
You're so smart.
Yeah, I'd agree with all three, to be honest with you.
Roger had a career year, honestly, this year.
De Bruyne is always going to be there.
I would argue you could throw Gundogan in there as well.
Yeah.
He's a big game player, and I think
Yeah.
he'll
He might be
miss
the-
next year.
He came in big spots for
He
you
just
guys.
scores whenever we like in the most dire times necessary. Scores.
I
goals.
agree.
And he
I-
puts a
I was
shift
so
in on
sad.
both sides. He's defensively, he's solid, and he can get you a goal when you need it.
Who do you think he goes in for? Odegaard? De Bruyne?
I mean, he can't take De Bruyne out. I'd have to say
can't
either
take De Bruyne
Odegaard
out.
or Rodri.
Yeah. But then again, I think that you look at Odegaard, I think through the middle, he completely changed the way Arsenal played.
Yeah, I mean,
Like he was a game changer every single game for them, and everything went through him.
he had 15 goals for center mid and
Yeah.
I forget how many assists. I think it's up here somewhere.
I think he played great too. So we're good with those?
Yeah. I'm like, this is an interesting formation that this is.
Yeah.
Playing.
Well, no, I think it was a 4-3-3, and these would be with the wingers. I would have to say.
Harry Kane's not a winger, but
That's fair. Why do they have it like that then?
I like to point out you're literally just going through some one random guys.
Oh, listen to this guy. Well, we're trying to.
Dude, you are never allowed to be in charge of what we're looking at on the computer.
I can
ever
do whatever.
again.
Dude, you can pull up your computer, but you don't
I
have.
can't because you
the
won't give me the
lo-
Wi-Fi password.
I shared it with you. It didn't load.
all right, children.
Someone else is running it.
Yeah, this is Brian's no longer about to run the
Dude,
pod.
just why not? This is
It's
fun.
literally just
What
a
team is
random
Zinchenko
guy
on, Brian?
Suggested 11 for the season.
Who cares?
It's not even like the Premier League 11.
It is the.
It's not. It's just one
We're
guy.
reading through to see what they had, Garrett.
All right, let's keep going. Let's
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Saka and Harry Kane and Haaland up top. Those are the things.
I don't think in any formation you play Kane on the wing.
Right. First of all,
But if we're just gonna pick the best 3 players, yeah, absolutely.
We also didn't mention the goalie, and it was Nick Pope on that one.
Oh yeah.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
He made some crazy
That's
saves.
fair.
I probably wouldn't put him in the best 11, but he made some crazy saves.
Yeah.
What goalie would you put in the best 11?
I'd probably put De Gea, 17 clean sheets.
That's fair.
Fair too.
I'll take it.
Either him or Allison.
I'll say you probably put Becker in there.
I mean, Allison like saved Liverpool's ass
Right.
numerous
The
times
problem is,
last year.
like, Liverpool had a shitty season, but Allison still played good.
Yeah.
So after going through all that, who out of going into last season, my question is, which team shocked you guys the most, and which team let you guys down the most? Who do you think was like, wow, I wasn't expecting them, this team to come out of nowhere, and which team did you have high hopes for that was like, wait, they finished that low, or they're that bad?
I feel there's a few you can make a case for. For me, it's Brighton.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree.
They've been great, but what they end up finishing 7th in the table,
6th.
sixth. So like, from just their progression over the last couple of years, and like obviously under Potter they were a great team, but De Zerbi, Potter left for Chelsea. They hired De Zerbi, and he kind of took them to another level. And Brighton's like one of those teams that they just keep selling their best players, and they keep producing great talent. So their scouting is like off the charts. Like Matoma comes out of nowhere, has an incredible year. Solly March also had a great year.
McAllister,
Caicedo,
World Cup
there's
winner,
so many.
Alexis
Cup winner.
McAllister.
Beat me
Cup
to
winner.
it, god damn it.
Yeah, so I mean they just produce talent, and like I think they rightfully so deserved 6th place. And like even Pep was talking about, they're the best team playing out of the back and building up
Oh yeah,
in the Premier League.
he
So
appreciates good play.
yeah, so I would say them for the most shocking.
Anybody else have any other teams you want to throw in
Honestly,
there?
I would say I didn't expect Villa to be 7th. Not to throw a little feather in Matt's cap, but
No, I mean, I'd buy into the hype. I thought we were going to win it all.
No. What the fuck did you just say?
that's a saying.
That's a saying? To throw a feather in Matt? What?
Yeah.
What
the fuck does that
It's like
mean?
giving a compliment
Yeah,
or something.
I've never heard that before in my life.
it's 100% a thing.
All right, carry on, Matt.
That you're so rudely
Oh,
interrupted. I was just saying. I mean, I didn't
I'm
expect.
bamboozled.
Listen, I thought Villa was going to be a 10 to 12.
I'll be honest. I totally
Middle
buy
table
into
range.
all the Villa hype I see online and in the other in the Villa podcasts I listen to. So like the start of the season, I was like, yeah,
We're
we
gonna
could totally
win.
lock up at least like 2nd or 3rd. And then when we were in 17th at the end of the Stevie G time, I was like, okay, let's not get relegated. And the next season, I'm just kind of like, hey, the sky's the limit. We've made some great signings, and it's I think we're solid all around. I don't think we'll be 1 through 4, but I think we could totally be in Europa Conference League conversation again.
Would you say your best signing's Emery?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, that's hard to
because
argue.
they were 17th, right, and they ended up
Yeah,
7th.
Yeah.
To climb the table like that, was it halfway through the year? Or?
less than that.
Less than that?
I think he had like 10 games that he didn't lose a single
Wow.
game. He had a couple ties, but yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I think that would be my vote for most surprising. Everyone else is like,
Yeah.
I Newcastle was kind of like that, like dark horse going in. Like you knew they spent some money, you knew they had good players, but you really didn't know what they were going to be yet.
Yeah, there was like, oh, they could be there. Like, you always had that idea that they can kind of like get up there. So I wouldn't say they were surprising. I think I agree with Dan with Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Fulham had a great season.
I mean, 10th for them. Yeah, that's great. What about teams that you guys thought were like, oh, they're gonna have a good year, like this is gonna be good for them, and then just went to shit?
Chelsea.
Chelsea's probably another one. Like West Ham was probably an obvious one.
I would say Crystal Palace for me. I thought Vieira, with the signings he had and the team he had, he was going to have a better season, and Roy just kind of came in at the end just to kind of save them.
Yeah.
And I kind of
Yeah.
would have liked to have seen them give Vieira some extra time, because it was the first time he's really had his back against the wall where the team wasn't doing well. I would have liked to see if he could have worked his way out of that.
That's fair.
And they have so much talent. Well, they had so much talent. Kind of some of it's getting taken, but they still have some talent. So I'm curious to see how this year is, because I still think Eze is one of the most underrated players.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I
Eze and
agree.
Elise, I mean, they've got a fantastic young core
That's what
right
I'm
now.
saying.
It's just like,
Yeah.
They have so much talent.
I just want to throw this out there too. I don't know what training camp he was at, but Eze has a hell of a one-handed catch.
Oh
when he
yeah,
plays
absolutely.
American
snag.
football for people. Yeah,
Absolute
Yeah.
snag.
this
That
dude
was
went up
nuts.
there and caught one one-handed. It was sick, athlete.
That was great.
I think I'm with that. I mean, yeah, Chelsea. I mean, you look at their team. I mean, and not even just like the players they have, but just then like you think of Chelsea, you expect them to be in the conversation every year. You expect them to be pushing for Champions League every year.
And how much money they spend in this?
And to finish 12th in the bottom half of the table, that is just.
Chelsea's problem was they just bought to buy. There was no thought. They bought like 3 guys that played the same position. It was just like insanity.
They went in and they played FIFA career mode. And they said,
Literally.
okay, we're selling everyone and we're buying all the young players that have the most potential.
Yeah.
And it just
I
didn't
agree.
pay out because it doesn't work like that in real life.
Right. Yeah. Again, I would like to not for nothing, but City doesn't just buy people; they buy people that work. Thank you.
Or they buy people and Pep makes it work.
Well, that also
That's just what he does. Any players from last season that like kind of came out? I know that stood out to you guys. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what team. Like,
Well, I mean, I think McAllister without the World Cup was still like a shocking.
yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone really up until the World Cup. I mean, he was good, but I don't think he got as much recognition until that whole World Cup run.
Yeah. I think
Matoma.
I would say you mentioned
Matoma.
him before. Yeah. I think he kind of broke out in a big way.
Arguably one of the best dribblers in the league.
Got a PhD.
in dribbling.
I gotta go home.
I think he literally just like wrote one paper or something, and everyone's like running away with that, saying like,
Yeah, like
he went to
it went
school
from-
for dribbling.
Yeah, literally went from him writing like an essay to him doing like a 10-page research paper for Harvard.
He has a doctorate.
Yeah, like
Dribbling
literally.
past defenders.
I got to give it to Miggy Almiron for last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And
there's
after
my
getting
phone.
so much like crap and like he gets memed by Grealish and like all that stuff, and then
Especially coming from, we would see him here in the MLS, and then he goes over to Newcastle and absolutely had a terrible first season, and now he can confidently say he's a quality finisher and a good Premier League player.
yeah, it was a good year for him. I think he got silenced a lot of doubters that he had.
I don't think in the Newcastle project he's going to be there for the
Foreseeable
end
future.
the end of
Yeah.
the league line,
I
but I
agree.
think he's great to get them there, and in 10 years he can look back and he can be like, I was part of
I
that.
started that. I
Yeah.
built
Exactly.
that.
And he'll be playing Champions League ball this year.
Because I mean, for nothing, Newcastle got taken over by someone that has unlimited money, pretty much. They could easily have went out and did what Chelsea did and bought 100 guys and just threw shit at the wall and said, "Hey, let's see what sticks." They didn't. They made smart signings. They didn't spend $1 billion. They brought in Trippier.
Oh, you can't yell at me.
They brought in Dan Burn.
Another Brighton guy.
When we played Dan Burn, I was so mad because for some reason Steven Gerrard said, hey, kick it to the left back who's 6'4", and he won every single header. And I'll never forget that, just screaming at the TV going, hit it anywhere else. Hit it anywhere else.
On the flip side of it, are there any players that you guys are like, kind of like, wow, like they just had a down year, like normally like a pretty consistent play? Because I could think of maybe one or two
I mean,
off the top of my head.
trying to think.
I would
For
say
me,
Mount.
Mount's a good one.
He was
I would say that.
non-existent. I mean, no, he had the contract issue, but he was non-existent all season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. Oh, good. I was gonna say Son. Son came off. He
Yeah.
was tied for Golden Boot last year,
Yeah.
and ended up. It was just an off season. I think he had like 10 or 11 goals, which
I think that's a lot of the system he had to play too with
Yeah.
Conte.
Yeah.
I will say though, if I'm betting on a comeback player to have a better season, I think with Madison,
You're
I
going
think
Son.
it's gonna be Son. this
Yeah,
year.
100%.
I think he pops back off again.
Especially
to be honest.
Does he do better if Kane leaves?
I was
or-
going to say, especially if Kane leaves. Oh, well, should we save that for the transfer talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking, but like it all depends on like if they bring in nobody and Kane leaves is a big difference.
Yeah.
Like if he leaves, they have to bring in ideally they have to bring in somebody.
Yeah, I
Charles
also don't know
could
much
play
about
for
like their new coach, and I don't even know how to pronounce Pasta, whatever.
Try to give him time to try.
Did you say pasta?
Pasta Gungaloo or something? I don't know. He
We butchered that.
he
Sure we did.
I was gonna say I think he plays like an attacking style. I haven't watched him too much, but from watching highlights of their first like couple games, they are very attacking. So I think that could be great for Son in his like redemption season. So yeah. I guess we'll.
I was going to, I don't know. I think after the past couple seasons, seeing, the players that Liverpool has, I feel like Robertson and Trent had down years.
Yeah, tell me about it. Robertson was my fucking first pick in fantasy.
Yeah, I think those. I mean, you see how many times for wingbacks they get down the field, they put the ball in the box, and the assists they have, and even the goals they score. But you didn't really hear their name a lot, this year at all. And I'm not sure what really caused that. It felt like they both just didn't have great years, at least offensively. They just didn't have what they've had the past couple seasons.
Not to be a dick, but I saw the stats today and it's just like not.
You're gonna be a dick, and I can't wait.
I am.
I can't wait.
Actually
Do it. Fucking do
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, you're gonna be mad with anything. You see, Luke Shaw's only had 17 assists in his career, and he's played like 268 games.
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
That's
I believe
wild
that
to
too.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not like I'm just like the thing amount of people he played with, like strikers wise, like that have been through United while he's been there, and he only had 17 assists. Like I actually had to look it up to see if like I thought it was like a fake tweet.
No, that's real.
The sad part is that Luke Shaw has a really good cross. Not like Wan-Bissaka, who can't cross the ball for shit. But
Wan-Bissaka,
Luke Shaw can actually whip
all
a corner.
Wan-Bissaka do is can get burned and then recover with a great slide tackle. That's what he could do.
Personally, I would take that all day.
I
Especially,
take it. Oh, trust me, I take it.
But if Luke Shaw is not getting in the mixer, one of them's got to be up there.
Okay, so who the fuck would you like him to cross the ball to?
Okay,
Yeah,
let's not act like you didn't have Wout Weghorst, this 6'4" moron
He's
up
useless,
top,
though.
all
He
half
is
of last
useless.
season. I mean, I'm not saying he's good, but like that's who you should have been crossing the ball to.
Listen, I'm not the coach. Wasn't my fucking
I mean,
game plan.
Rashford's like, is he like 6'2"?
I'm sure.
I don't know. Are you good?
Yeah, beer went
At
another
least
one
he didn't
pipe.
cough into the microphone.
So Clayton's first and last podcast here.
5'11"
Just-
Rashford, by the way.
5'11.
Oh, okay, so 96. All right.
No.
Just one last thing on the Trent thing. He had a terrible start to the season. It wasn't like the last third of the season. He really turned it around.
Yeah,
I
he
think
played
that's
great.
Yeah.
after
They were
Liverpool
kind of.
changed their kind of shape, and he
Yeah.
kind of played a little more in the defensive midfield kind of area. But yeah, after that, he was starting to assist more and just being more of a presence attacking wise. So I think they'll probably stick with that.
Yeah. Also, what do we like? I
This
mean,
season.
do we think that Van Dijk is he ever going to get back to what he was? Do we think the injury really screwed him that much? Do we think he's
As
was it a 1 year, 2 year
who's torn
wonder?
an ACL,
Yeah.
I will say
Our medical expert.
I do not think he will ever. I think he will be a great center back, and he'll be one of the best center backs in the Premier League. I do not think he will ever be
Like
the
that
Van
year.
Dijk of the pre-COVID year, where he was a brick wall and nobody could get by.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
he'll
that's
still
fair.
be great, but especially at his age, I don't think he's got that in the tank.
Fair.
And
I'd love to be wrong.
Right.
but
I don't disagree.
I hope
think
you're
it's a
wrong.
lot.
Because watching him play when he was at his best and completely healthy and that when he was that brick wall, he was so much fun to watch.
I hated watching him.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, those years.
I mean,
the
I
Liverpool,
thought-
Then we scored 7 goals on him.
the Liverpool City title races when Van Dijk was at his peak were honestly some of the most exciting seasons we've had in years. So
Just while we're still talking about Liverpool, where do you guys want to see Trent play next season? Do you think he'll play in the midfield, or do you think he'll play outside back?
outside back, haha.
And if he's
see-
not playing
see,
outside back,
You're giving
who's
him
taking that
something.
spot?
You're- oh,
I honestly, I would like to see him play as a winger just to kind of see how it goes. But also, I feel like he's literally, arguably, the best right back in the league when healthy.
Wait, was winger an option? You say winger?
I
Well, you said
thought-
where
I
do you want
said
to see him
center.
play?
Yeah,
What were the two options? Sorry.
I was thinking center mid
or in the back.
or in the back,
Oh,
full
okay.
back. Excuse me.
I would like to see him as a winger, to be honest.
They have so many wingers.
I get that, but I mean,
In preseason,
He's not,
and when
like,
he was,
fantastic.
Who's he going to start
defender.
for? Who's he going to start
he's a
for?
terrible defender.
right? That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not a good
Who's
defender.
Who's he starting?
Defend as
If he's
much.
playing at wing, who's he starting for?
Who's on the right side right now?
Salah, I think.
Yeah.
No, isn't Salah left winger?
I think
No, he's right sided. He cuts on his left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're a good point.
Left is Diaz.
Left
and
is Diaz.
Jota.
So what do you got?
Then you got Gakpo.
He's got to go in the middle or in the back.
I guess
Darwin
if you're going to
Núñez.
put your best players in the field, he technically
Yeah.
can't go on the wing.
I think when Liverpool started playing well, like Dan was saying, he was playing center mid or holding mid or that right sided center mid. I think that's where he should be this year, especially if
I'd-
you lose Henderson, Milner, and Fabinho.
I'd like to see him there.
I would love to see it.
I
He's
hope-
defensive enough.
I would
that he
like
can-
to see him there, and I hope it's terrible.
Well,
don't-
I think
I
it'll
don't
be a
want
good
him to
spot
win.
for him.
It will. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say, I think he's been doing a little bit of that. I think he's playing a similar kind of role where he's starting as an outside back and then inverting into a center defensive mid. But I will say in the preseason so far, I know 2 of their friendlies they've let in 4 goals. So something's not working. They're scoring a lot of goals, but they're also conceding a lot of goals. So that for me, that if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be concerned going into the season because they
Yeah.
haven't signed a center defensive mid. They've been linked with Lavia. They let Fabinho go. I think they need some more stability in the back, especially from what you're seeing in preseason. So
Would you pay 50 mil for Lavia?
would I? He's only 19, and he showed really,
They got relegated.
He got relegated, but he's 19. It's not just
19.
on him.
Yeah.
So did Ward Prowse.
Yeah, and Ward Press, one of the best.
I just
free
want to
kick
know if
takers
you
in
would.
the
I just want to
goddamn
know if
world.
you'd be willing. I would
So
pay
did
it
James
for Villa.
Madison. These are
Yeah, James Madison would have went down too.
I will say out of their last three scrimmages, Trent's played right back for 2, and then he played center mid for 1.
How are they doing the center? 4-4.
I mean,
Jesus
I don't even know who this
Christ.
team is, honestly, that they played. Firth.
Who the hell's Firth?
could not tell you if I tried,
All
to be
right,
honest with you.
well,
So, but against Bayern and against Leicester, they played. He was a very.
I mean, I guess against a no-name. Well, sorry if you're a Firth fan, but I guess against a no-name team like Firth, you experiment a little bit, put them in the middle because who cares? I mean, that's what preseason's for anyway.
Correct.
So.
Firth is a League Two German team.
There you go.
Oh well.
I feel like we shouldn't get shit for not knowing who they are. Then.
Yeah,
Not
no, we
in the
should.
Firth division.
Boo! Boo!
8.3.
Boo this man.
8.3. No, high five this man.
I
That
like
was
a lot.
fucking great.
That was good, right?
Enjoyed
That was
one.
great.
I really did.
Clayton, you're just pissed you didn't think of it yourself, and you know it.
That was funny. I enjoyed that. I did.
Thank you.
All right. So we touched on, the Champions League from last season, the teams that made it, the teams that went down. We talked about some awards, the players. We kind of touched on the teams coming up a little bit. So before we get into this upcoming season and some predictions, anything we want to touch on for those three teams that are coming up? Any final things before we get into our predictions for this season? And maybe a little transfer and fantasy talk.
I'm not glad. I don't really have much else to say, but we kind of talked about
Other
that.
than
a
I'm
little bit.
excited to see company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be fun.
That's
I can't wait for
pretty
the.
much it.
First game of the season, he's going back to Manchester
I
City.
know.
That's gonna be
That's
cool.
kinda like
That's gonna be cool.
It's a tough opening day, but
I mean,
I
he's
guess they're going to turf more, but still.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Yes.
let's get into it. What are we thinking, people? We'll start from the bottom. Who's going down next season? Give me your three.
Luton.
Okay.
Geez, Luton,
So I have my three.
Nottingham.
I have mine too.
I don't really know who my third one is right now. To be honest, if you guys want to throw some names, I think Luton and Nottingham, and I don't feel as confident as yelling a third one. To be honest, I know those two. I feel like
So I had Luton at 20th,
yeah, same.
Sheffield at 19th,
Hey, Sheffield go back down.
and Forest at 18th.
Okay, so mine is very similar. Luton, Sheffield, and then I'm going Wolves. I think they've been so.
I would love nothing more than that.
I think they've been so unconvincing the past 2 years. They literally. I just think it's their time to go down.
I don't think they have a forward.
They don't, and they just
No.
got rid of Jimenez too. So
Well, ever since the concussion, he's been terrible.
he has been,
It
but
wasn't a concussion; it was a fractured skull.
Yeah,
That's
a little
a
bit.
little bit different than a concussion.
his head scrape.
I think
He had a boo boo.
I don't
Howie.
in like I said, not in no order here, like not 20th, 19th, whatever. I think Nottingham go down. I think Sheffield go down. Baby, it's Everton's year
You're going to keep Luton up? You think they'll stay up over Everton?
by like 2 points.
The Ginger Mourinho does
That's
not go
my
down.
that's
I don't
my
think
hot
Everton's
take
going
coming
down.
into this season. See you later. I don't.
I don't know if the team that finished in 17th last year going down is a hot take, but it's definitely
Well,
a
that Luton stay up over them.
If that
That's
Luton
kind
stay
of a
up,
hot
it's
take.
a hot take. I would say.
I'm saying Luton stay up.
I would say
I think they find a way.
Everton getting relegated wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world.
No, I think Luton stay up. Everything go down. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about Everton where like
Their owners suck and everyone hates them, and
Yeah.
the team riots against them every year.
exactly. It just seems like there's no like it's not like a.
So
it's very American. There's no like organization there. Like there's nothing. Like the owners are on a different page than the coaches. The coaches are on a different page than the play. I don't see it. I
Well,
don't see them being a Premier League team.
the last 3 years, Everton has placed 10th, then 16th, then 17th.
See ya.
They have not placed in the top half of the table since the 18-19 season.
I think I would say 1800. That's been a while.
So did I. But yeah, I don't see them.
The problem is that at least what we see on TV is that the local fans there want the ownership out and
Oh,
they want to start
yeah.
getting some better players. And without Dominic Calvert-Lewin having a full season, which apparently he can never do because he's always hurt,
Always hurt.
they don't have a great goal scorer.
No.
I mean, you got Damari Gray, you got Decore, you've got all these pretty good players around a number 9 that you just don't really have yet.
Even McNeil had a great end of the season, but I think he's actually hurt right now.
All right, so let's get a little more positive here.
Ooh, yeah.
These have to be in order.
These have to be in order.
Okay.
Who is making Champions League next year? Who will be the top 4 in the Premier
wanna
League
start us off?
for the 2023-2024
The
season?
newcomer just gave us his.
Yeah,
Alright.
Clayton,
Also,
start us off.
Matt's name is also Clayton.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said both names.
It's
Right.
Clayton.
Sorry
No,
about that.
Yeah, it's Clayton. Sorry, whatever.
Trying to throw
All
it
right,
out
so
there.
your top 4 predictions for next season. Let's hear it.
So, unfortunately, I got City at 1.
Yeet.
Yeah. I don't think it'll have as good of a season with some of the players they've lost, but I put them at 1. Arsenal at 2. I got Liverpool at 3. And I've got United at 4.
Can live with that.
Danny?
Dan.
Mine's the exact same.
You son of a bitch.
You stole mine. I should have went first. Yeah, I think maybe Newcastle again has a chance to get in. Either I think the gap between United and Liverpool is going to be very close this year.
I think that's going to come down to basically how they play against each other.
Yeah, and I think even Newcastle is probably going to be in the mix again this year. I mean, the only issue with Newcastle is their first time playing with like Champions League in a while. So like, will they be able to maintain their,
The extra games in the schedule and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So,
I'm a little different.
okay.
Tell me you have United winning it all.
I don't. I would love to, but I don't. It's the same 4 teams, just different order. I think they do it, Dan. I think you do it.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna go Arsenal, City in second by like a point or 2. I think Arsenal get them by a point. And then I'm gonna go United, and then I'm gonna go Liverpool. So Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool.
I'm sure like a compilation of like Brian's like worst takes of this, and just that's gonna be our TikTok. Is Luton stays up, Arsenal wins the league.
Dude, somebody has to be different, and I'm standing out,
I mean,
making claims.
fine.
Because at some point,
It's not that crazy. I mean, like Arsenal were 5 points off the
Yeah,
top
it's
last
not
year.
crazy.
So it's
But I'm
not
saying,
that
at some
crazy.
point, one of my crazy takes is gonna hit, and I'm a goddamn genius.
well, call it a spade. I don't know, genius, but
Genius.
I think mine is similar. I think it's gonna be, I think City, I think Liverpool have a bounce back year. Arsenal, United. I think go City, Liverpool, Arsenal, United again.
All right. Just because scrolling through and like,
I like to see Newcastle finish top 4 again, though. But I
Where-
don't know if that's gonna happen.
because like you're going quote unquote like the top 6 teams. Where do we think Chelsea's gonna finish this year?
So I had Chelsea 5th, Brighton 6th,
Ooh.
Newcastle 7th, and Villa in 8th.
I have Chelsea 6th. I have Newcastle 5th.
And then I had
I like
Spurs
that.
at 10th.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be terrible.
I think they're
again
gonna
this
lose
year.
Yeah, I think they're not gonna be.
I don't think they're going to lose Kane because I think he's going to let his contract run down and then he's going to go to United. Because for him to go to another Premier League team, they're going to ask a ridiculous fee. And for him to go to Bayern, Daniel Levy wants a buyback clause so that way he can't go to the Prem next year.
Yeah,
And
but
if
if
he
you're-
does, he's going back to Spurs.
But if you're Spurs and you know he's leaving, wouldn't you try to get something for him now?
Kane wants to stay in the Prem to break the record.
I know, but
And Spurs don't want to sell him to a rival.
Yeah,
But
they
they're
can,
the
literally-
amount of money they could
but
fetch.
they
Oh,
can
yeah.
also make you man. You listen. You know, man. They overpay for everybody.
But you
they
guys-
would pay
Harry Maguire.
They would pay $3,000 for a set of cones. That's what they do. They will give
Some
Tottenham.
nice cones, though.
Yeah, right. They will give Tottenham literally whatever
Nice
they want.
cones.
So why wouldn't they take advantage of that?
Because it's too late. United just bought that Norwegian kid. City don't need a forward. Arsenal probably
Oh,
need
we'll
a
take
forward
Kane,
but can't
screw it.
afford one. Chelsea,
Fuck them. Sorry.
Chelsea
fuck
have
the Norwegian
Lukaku.
kid. Fuck the Norwegian kid. I'll take Kane.
you just spend 70, 80 mil on him.
$1 million.
You
Spend
can't.
another-
You're not going to drop another 150 to buy Kane.
Yeah, you guys are out.
We'll throw in Harry Maguire.
They're not going to take him.
What about the other 80 million, yo?
Congrats, you knocked $5 million off.
Good old slabhead.
Who was he? Rumored Chelsea, right, for a little bit.
And West
West
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah, bye.
jeez.
See you.
Um,
All right, so we have our predictions then. For now.
yeah,
I
mean,
guarantee
that's
you I
either preseason,
Um,
and then week 1's gonna happen. We're all gonna say fucking shit and change them all.
yeah, because we overreact. That's what we do in here. We got some time left here. So,
Where's the time? We have unlimited time, really.
well, those were words, I promise. So let's do this. We'll do this, right? Golden Boot.
We're listening.
Who do we think's getting the Golden Boot this year?
Do we even need to have the
Nope.
answer? Can we just all say Holland?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Holland.
If
Okay.
Kane stays, I might go Kane.
I mean, I'm going Holland.
Still gonna go Holland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm going Holland.
way to be different, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go Kane.
Wait, have a Brian take.
All
I'll
right.
leave that. All right, so that one's gone. Golden Glove. Who's keeping the most clean sheets?
Allison.
I don't think so.
I'm going to give it to Onana. I think he's got the best back line where I think Liverpool needed a back line to be strengthened and City needed a back line that needed to be strengthened. And you guys got the kid from Croatia at City who's coming in. And Liverpool didn't buy anyone defensively.
I was gonna say Ederson or Onana.
I'm gonna say Ederson.
Is Vardy official yet? I'm trying to figure that out. I don't think they've
Fabrizio,
officially
here we
announced
go
it.
did.
He here we go did, but then there was some callback on
He's
the here we
since
go.
Here we go did again.
Has
So
he? Okay,
that
'cause I
is
know-
the word of the god.
Because I remember I sent you guys the here we go, and then nothing happened for like 2 weeks off of it.
All right. So for those of you, if our podcast, our TikToks, our whatever the heck it is, if it ever pops up, and you're new to this, and you're like, oh, what is Fabrizio? If Fabrizio on Twitter ever says here we go, someone's moving and it's official. Even if it's not officially official, it is when
This
he
is
says
the first one I think that's actually like
11 hours ago.
11 hours ago. Jesus Christ, you swung the microphone over there. Get that thing away from your... Oh, well.
Sorry, 11 hours ago. Details finalized.
All right.
Deal.
So there we go.
Via Fabrizio.
Do we have any other player awards we want to make predictions on? We have young player of the
Young
year?
player.
Anybody?
I'm going to give it to the Chelsea center back at loan at Brighton last season, Levy Colwell. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Won the Euro 21 championship over the summer. He played pretty much every game. Absolute stud.
I think I'm going to go back to Saka.
Played. Sorry?
I think I'm going to Saka again.
What age are we going under? Like 21?
23. I think. is the
23. Saka's
award.
21. I'm going back to Saka.
All right, I'm gonna throw out. I'm not gonna do Saka just because I think he's a cut above everyone else right now, and he won it last year. So I'm gonna go either Elise, who I think is 21, who had a great season last year. I think he had 11 assists. I think he's only gonna get better. He's been rumored to go to City and even Chelsea. And Morgan Gibbs-White, he had a good season last year with Nottingham Forest. So those are my two.
I like the Gibbs-White shout.
How old is... Let me see something real quick.
Who are you looking for?
Ooh, I'm going Moises Caicedo. Rumored to go to Chelsea from Brighton. I think he is going to be an absolute stud. I think he's going to be the...
I think he is a stud.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this season, I should say, he's going to have a great year. And honestly, I think they got the bid. I don't know if that's official yet either. I know the bid was submitted by Chelsea. I think it was $80 million.
Had 2 bids turned down already, so I think it's like
8 hours ago, there was an $80 million bid from £80 million bid from Chelsea. So that's who I'm going with.
Based on how City line up, weird shout, but I'd like to see Rico Lewis, depending on if he gets a back run in with the first team again. He's only 18, so that's like my outside pick. Shout just to change something up from just saying the normals.
That's fair.
They came in, changed their team, and then just didn't play the rest of the season. But
anybody have any other preseason awards that you're thinking you could look into somebody you might give out? Going once.
nope, I'm good.
I'm not going to make up an award. I don't know what else to make up.
All right. So the next thing we have here, what team or what player, or one of each, are you pumped to see?
I'm pretty sure we did this.
Did we do this?
Am I high?
We did
Last year's.
last year's team that impressed us and team that disappointed us.
Jesus.
We're basically doing it again with a fresh
Are you
coat of
high?
paint.
I might be. Because aren't we going to say the same? Well, I mean, I guess we'll say different things.
Say different
Okay.
things.
No, like, all right, let's like,
I'll do team first.
yeah.
I'm gonna say Villa.
Hell yeah, Dan.
I'm excited to see that. Like, after their progression last year, I think they're only going to build on that. I think they could push for, I don't know about Champions League this year, but I think definitely Europa League.
For those of you listening, there was the weakest high five of all time just happened.
Here, let's get a better one.
There you
The
go.
signing of Diaby, I think, was a big one too. Bailey just wasn't really cutting it, so I think
I still hold out hope for him. I think he's not playing his right position.
yeah. So I just think that, I mean, they got Tielemans too. I just think they're gonna have like a really good year, and I think they're gonna continue to. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see Chelsea under Poch.
Okay.
I think I'm curious just to see how they play under an actual manager that's at least proven, maybe not to win trophies in the Premier League, but at least to have some success in the Premier League.
You can't take preseason as like, I mean, it's just preseason. They look pretty good. I mean, they're undefeated. I think it's undefeated. But they looked like they were scoring goals, which they weren't really doing last year. So
And he gives some time for all these guys that they sign at the same time to at least have some more time to play together and grow
That's
some
fair.
chemistry under, again, a coach that we think at least knows what he's doing.
yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with, and again, I mean, it's easy to say this, right? Because it's from the championship to the Premier League. It's insanely different. But I'm
Fair
excited.
to say.
I'm excited to see Burnley. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be like crazy good. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to even finish top half of the table. I doubt it. But I am excited to see them under company come in. I mean, 101, 102 points, even in the championship, isn't a mistake. I mean, they clearly have something going on there. I know on the other side of it, they have like a bunch of U.S. Athletes have been buying stake in the team. They're putting a lot of money into the team now. So I'm excited to see what they can do. And honestly, if they have a decent finish going forward, all those stakeholders and all those people putting money in, I'm excited to see what they could do with that and build on. So I'm kind of excited to see them come up and see what they could do.
Yeah.
I don't think you picked a team, did you, Clayton?
I didn't, and thank you for stealing Burnley from me.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, I had Burnley.
I'm with you.
I had, they signed Nathan Redmond this season. He's proven Premier League player from Besiktas. In 15 matches for them, he scored 5 goals and had 5 assists. They signed, I'm going to butcher the name,
I love when we butcher names on here.
Zeki Amadou.
Close enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, from FC Basel. 23 matches, 12 goals, 4 assists. They signed him for less than 20 mil, and he's a young kid. And then they signed Jordan Beyer from Borussia Gladbach, 15 mil, center back. And, I mean, Gladbach didn't have the best of seasons last year, but I think with company at the helm and the fact that he rejected moves to Everton and a couple other Premier League teams and bought into the championship soccer that he was playing with Burnley, I think he's going to have a good season.
Yeah.
All right. Any players that you guys are excited to see, or just kind of the usual, the Haaland, Kane, the usuals?
I'll throw 2 out there. Mount and Havertz. Both in new systems. Both come from Chelsea. Both have highly, criticized moves here. Like they're under, a very tight microscope here. Havertz playing in which we're gonna think is gonna be a new position for him, which is trying to fill in that.
What do you like him there?
The first couple games I did not. I watched the game today. I think he's starting to get more and more comfortable in the position. He's not the physical kind of player Xhaka was, so you're gonna have to adapt. But I think that's also like Zinchenko's gonna invert in more. So I think they're gonna try to play more attacking. I just don't. I think you got to at least start the season with Partey and Rice as like your anchor in the center mid, and then Odegaard up top.
You mean like Odegaard at the 10, right?
Yeah. Okay. Not up. Yeah.
I think I said a little bit before. I'd like to see how Madison plays in the Spurs.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that.
Again, I'd like to see more of Kane's face. I think that makes it a little more interesting, him to play with that kind of striker. Like, as he played with Vardy pretty much the last however many years of his career, which is a little bit different of a striker than Kane, clearly. Kane can play more with his back to goal as opposed to Vardy's more of a direct target, like through balls and playing it behind. So I think it'd be cool to see him play off of someone that can actually hold the ball up a little bit more and kind of offer a little more area to be creative with dropping the ball back into him. So I think Madison for me. And I've always liked James Madison, even on Leicester. So
You drafted him like every year in fantasy.
I haven't drafted him in the last 2
Who,
years.
James Madison?
Wasn't your team name named after him for a while too?
I drafted James Madison.
Salt and Pepper FC, baby.
I'm pretty sure
From that in 3 years.
I had Madison this year.
You haven't drafted yet.
Well,
Last year or something. Sorry. All right. So let's wrap up with some transfer talk. The season starts what? Next weekend?
10 days.
10 days we have.
Oh, less than that. Sorry.
Yeah, less than 10 days. So a lot of teams scrambling to, maybe fill some positions, get some big name players in, some young talent. Let's just talk about, a couple of transfers that are going on. Obviously, where was it? We talked about Harry Kane possibly leaving. I just scrolled through Twitter, which is now called X, thanks Elon Musk. It apparently now there's another thing coming out that he's offering to pay to buy out his own contract to help him move.
I don't think he would do that. I saw that tweet,
I
too.
just saw it. I don't know if it's true or not.
I mean, to really get everyone from Spurs to hate you, yeah, sure, buy out your own contract. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, but apparently that's
To go where though? Like
Bayern.
to move to Bayern.
Really?
Yeah,
The rumor is
that's the rumor. I don't know.
I don't see him. He's 50, 60 goals away from beating the all-time goal scoring record. I don't see him leaving.
Listen,
with roughly 2 years left in his
It's Twitter.
2-3 years
Who
left.
knows? I don't see it
in his
either.
career.
If you're Kane, do you care more about winning a trophy or care more about the
If I had put in that
individual
much
record?
work, the individual record.
Okay.
Yeah,
if he
I
hasn't done
agree.
it since he's been at Spurs, that record is everything at this point.
And also, like Matt said before, if you stay the year, you have the option to then stay in the Prem with a team that will win a trophy.
And no Premier League
Or
team is
could
going
win
to
a
look at
trophy.
you on a free and go, you know what? We don't need you. Because it's guaranteed 20-plus goals.
Yeah.
Another one for Man City. So apparently the fee was agreed at 78
For Vardio.
million. Yeah. Which, again, pretty big signing for them. I think he would help you guys.
I mean,
Little bit of that.
I didn't expect that we were going to sign it back. Honestly, we had a pretty solid system last year, but then again, Pep's nuts and figures out ways to play people in positions I never understood. He turned John Stones into a holding midfielder halfway through the season, and he played the best I've ever seen him play. So you know what? I don't question anything we sign until I see it in action, and then see what Pep does with it.
I mean, Vardiol's like one of the best prospects and center back in the world anyway. I mean, he was a standout for me in the World Cup. Like, whenever I watched Croatia play, like, he was just such a solid defender. He's quick, he's big, good on the ball. I think he'll flourish under Pep.
Yeah, I think so.
Another one we have is Manchester United. I think, where was the fee? They said it was 70-something, 72, I think.
For who?
72 million for Erasmus Højlund. I think he's super young, I think, but
20.
yeah, they've been going after him apparently throughout most of the summer. Apparently, it's going to be confirmed and is going to be released as a United player in the next couple days. I don't know how that's going to go. Well, I mean, let's be honest. We need a true striker. I think Rashford is better out on the wing. And with the inconsistencies of Antony and Sancho, I think Rashford should stay out there. And then the other one should kind of rotate out on the other side. And we need a true striker in the middle. I think he helps. But again, 20 years old, I mean, coming in from Atalanta, it's going to be, I feel like, difficult for him, at least for the first month or two to kind of get his feet under him.
It's a little scary that you have to say. I just looked up the fees for Sancho and Antony, and combined they're like $180 million.
Yeah.
And then you just sign.
Something to say about United.
I mean, come on, it's a lot of money to be like, we're not that consistent
Yeah,
with
but
them.
we don't cheat. You guys cheated to sign your players.
You still didn't spend $180 million on
yeah.
players that we can't rely on.
You cheated.
All right. Are we talking just transfer rumors or are we talking transfers that happened over the summer?
Either one.
Okay. Well, we don't need to talk about every transfer that happened, but I kind of want to talk about some transfers that I'm excited to see. Like
What do you
mentioned Diaby. I think Diaby's going to be fun. I saw a couple games of him in preseason. I thought he looked electric.
great, yeah.
There's been a couple, like we mentioned Havertz and Mount before.
Yep.
But even like Brighton signed João Pedro, he's been in the Premier League for Watford. He didn't really do too much, but he looked good in preseason. I think he had a couple goal contributions in the Premier League Summer Series. Anyone else that anyone can think of?
Touched on Madison already. We talked about how Wolves lost Jimenez.
Yeah,
Yep.
And also lost, what's his name? Saudi.
Yeah.
God, why can't I think of his name?
Who?
Ruben Neves.
Thank you.
Oh,
Ruben Neves went to
I know
Saudi
too,
as
though.
well.
that's on you.
St. Maximin left. I mean, talk
He's
about
gone.
incoming.
Yeah.
St. Maximin also left Newcastle.
Yep. Harvey
Um,
Barnes to Newcastle, we mentioned.
Right.
I got to admit, I thought that when they were getting Harvey Barnes, I thought it was going to be more for depth. And it's like, oh, now we have now we have Harvey Barnes and St. Maximin. And I was kind of surprised when he left.
I feel like there's been more shocking leaves this season. Like Henderson leaves Liverpool. We didn't really talk about
Dude,
that.
he's getting so much money.
I know.
Him.
Chelsea's team.
Yeah.
Mahrez left City.
Yeah.
Go to Saudi.
I think that's City's only concern is that you lose Mahrez, you lose Gundogan.
Silva's
If you
rumored.
lose, I don't think you'll lose Silva, but if you lose Kyle Walker, that's three really big players that you could potentially lose. And there hasn't even been, at least from what I've seen, an inkling that they're picking up a new attacking player.
No, but also that is the hope. Then you would think Foden plays more.
Yeah, I totally. But
And you have Alvarez, who also does not fill in those guys directly. Did play in a bunch of different positions. He played as a 9. He played as a 10 a little bit. So I mean, he's
I'm a big
versatile.
fan of him. Love him so much.
Oh, Alvarez, I know.
I think he's great.
For any other team, he's a main
Yeah,
9 probably. And just,
I would agree.
yeah, the fact that he just has Holland in front of him is the reason he's not a 9 for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other transfers?
He's
Probably missing some, but
Yeah.
it's
I got one I'm looking forward to seeing. Kevin, again, the last name I'm going to butcher it. Shade, from FC Freiburg to Brentford. Freiburg had an amazing season last year. He got called up to the German national team as a left winger, right winger. I think he's going to be really good next year. I'm kind of looking forward to see how he does, especially with how Brentford did last season, and I think everyone is expecting them to fight for those European spots this year. So I think that'll be a good
Even
kid
with
to watch.
Tony out?
Even with Tony out, yeah, I'm not that worried without Tony. I think he was a good target forward, but I don't think because he's only out for the first half of the season.
It's till like January, February, I think.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a little more concerning.
It's at least half the season, I think.
But a little bit, right? We mentioned Dex to Arsenal.
No, we didn't mention
I
that.
feel like it's a pretty big one that we're just really oversighting at the moment.
Also, I mentioned other Arsenal fans. I was hoping someone else would
I was
mention
gonna
them.
say, I
I'm
was trying to I'm looking through. I'm like, we're definitely missing a big
Yeah, you
one
missed
here,
that one.
guys.
Our record signing.
There you go.
Um,
I was.
And that's all we're going to say.
no one else. Is really
Yeah, right.
like,
That's
I
all
could
right,
say
right?
more, but
again, obviously there's a couple small ones we can list, like a couple Johnny Evans to Man U.
I think that's hilarious.
it's hilarious.
I mean,
I want to see a game with him and Maguire starting center backs.
Ashley
Sad part
Young-
is
bring back
Joni Evans will
bring
be
back-
the better center back.
Bring
Oh,
back
yeah.
Phil Jones too.
Young
Throw him in the
Ashley
fucking
Young
mix.
stays in the Prem, goes to Everton.
I wanted him
Yeah.
to get an extension at Villa because we really don't have a second string right back outside of Callum Chambers, and I
Yeah.
don't think Callum Chambers really cuts it.
But other than that, I mean, we can go through these small ones. But those are some
Yeah.
of the bigger ones.
So
Firmino leaving Liverpool.
So before we kind of wrap this up, and I think we want to talk a little bit about fantasy and kind of explain how we do that, and kind of set up next week's episode. There was 3 things I kind of wanted to touch on. One being in the Prem. Thoughts on?
I would hope it's in the Prem.
Well, only one of them is part of the Prem. The other 2 are just big soccer. It's big soccer news in general. Thoughts on your man going down out for the first part of the season?
For a few
Thoughts?
weeks, they said.
Yeah, but they weren't very specific.
They weren't
very
Yeah.
specific.
A few weeks could be a month
They
or
said
2.
he had a procedure today. That
Procedure is a scary word.
That's a scary word.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely nervous. Definitely.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't, starting the season, you don't want to hear that news. He looked really good in preseason. Like, he wasn't scoring much, but he was involved in every play going forward.
Yeah.
Which, I think he's, that kind of scrappy forward that just gets in, does the dirty work, and, will find a pass. He's not always, just a goal scorer. So, that's a big loss because Nketiah steps up. I mean, Jesus was injured last year.
I think Nketiah is terrible. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
He
I
is
think he is
horrific.
so
He might
bad.
be the worst finisher I've ever seen.
You can't rely on him for a full season. I mean, I will last year he did a pretty good job filling in for Jesus. He scored a couple goals, but he's just not the same caliber player as him.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely nervous, but I'm hoping a lot of our goals came from outside backs like Martinelli and Odegaard were our highest scorers last year. So I'm hoping they can fill in. And
I think
and
Martinelli
Saka.
needs to have. Without Izzy, I think Martinelli needs
Yes,
to have
that'd
a great
be great,
start
yeah.
to the season at
Yeah.
least, just to carry you guys and Saka obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
Saka's gonna. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
just scared for you when you have Nketiah and Havertz, maybe
Yeah.
2 of the worst finishers in Premier League recent history, playing on the same time.
I'd love to see ML Smith Rowe get a run on the team.
I would too.
Yeah, he's looked good in preseason. I mean, he had injuries last year, and he had a good under-21 World Cup with England. So I hope he gets his shot too.
All right, so 2 more things I wanted to say, and then right into fantasy to be quick. One, Messi's he's gonna break an MLS record. And the season's almost over. I don't care what anyone says.
The goat.
Yeah, So listen, everybody, real quick. I'll make this publicly now. I've always been Ronaldo over Messi guy, just because Ronaldo was Man United player. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I flipped. Ronaldo's an ass.
Boo! You can't switch.
I think I'm
like
on that. I think I'm Team Messi now. He's just a nice guy, and he's so fucking good. Ronaldo's playing where no one knows his fucking name. They're playing where he's playing over.
He's playing where he got a lot of money. That's
Yeah.
where he's playing.
Yeah, and
Not that Messi's not making a fortune in the MLS. Don't get me wrong.
Messi's playing a party in Miami with his friends, but he's also probably going to break records there. I don't know. It's just fun to watch. And then the last thing.
Just real quick on that, it was so funny watching Busquets play.
Oh,
and
my
then
God,
was just
dude.
because he has so much time. He's like,
he gets
He
the,
was confused.
He's like,
Did
where
you
do I
see
go?
that tweet?
He's directing traffic, pointing everything.
Yeah.
Oh my
Did
god.
you? I saw this tweet, and I forget who tweeted it, but it was someone said, "Oh, it's so funny watching Busquets get the ball off the center backs and check his shoulder to see where the pressure is, and then check his shoulder again to realize that the pressure is not coming."
It's nowhere to be found.
there's so much
actually.
time.
And that would be the MLS.
yeah.
Exactly.
And the last thing, I don't know if I think it came out today. Gigi Buffon's officially retired. And I just thought that was cool because he was. I mean, he's one of the best goalkeepers of all time.
As a goalkeeper, where do you rank him in goalkeeping standards?
Like top 3 of all time. I don't have.
Who would you put up there if you had to give top 3? He'd be up there,
I
and
was
who
just
would
gonna
the
say I
other two?
don't have a specific order.
Don't give an order, but top 3. Like if you had to pick.
Oh, top 3. Fuck, dude, I don't know. Is it top 3 that I liked or just the best? Because I know who I know who I.
Who do
like.
you think are the 3 best?
Oh, fuck you.
Well, that you've seen, obviously. You
I
can't go
mean,
back to like historic.
Rapid fire. Like we're not hourly.
We're not hourly.
I think. I mean, I would put him maybe. I think I put him 2. I think I put Neuer at 3. I don't know who I put at 1.
How do you just put a 2
You
and a
just-
3
yeah,
and
and not put a
give
1?
I think. Well,
I think I could have named
Narrow
5.
it down.
It's the most.
in my
wild thing I've
opinion,
ever heard.
it's not. In my opinion,
Little
just 'cause I'm
toss-up
very
between 1 and
biased.
4.
I love Van der Sar. I will always think Van der Sar's is going to go down as one of the top 5 keepers of all time.
You can put him at
I'm
1. Then
very
we'll just
biased.
disagree with you.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's fine. You can say.
But
it.
like out of those 3, you know what? I'm going to change it.
Oh, good.
I'm going to go Neuer, Buffon, Van der Sar. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So Neuer went from 3 to 1.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
hopped
In the
Buffon.
last
Yeah.
12 seconds.
Yeah.
Neuer has passed.
This is the last time Brian gets the computer.
No, I wasn't looking at it. I wanted to leave 1 open because I was trying to think of somebody that I would.
Clayton's
rather
first
put up there.
episode
Wait,
coming in hot.
Hold on, that still doesn't change the fact that you had Buffon and then Neuer at 3 and then moved Neuer to 1.
Yeah, but the more-
Hopped Buffon.
But the more I thought, the more I thought about it, is I think they can make the same saves. Neuer's just better at his feet. Neuer's just always been better.
Different
at his feet.
generation of football when Buffon was the number 1.
Yeah.
It was,
prime. When he was at his
when
prime.
he was at his prime,
Exactly.
it was just make the save.
Like also, I mean, I could argue myself that Casillas should be up there because he was incredible too. What?
Who?
Casillas?
Oh, okay.
I was
I
kind of
know
waiting
what
for
you
you to say that
Yeah.
actually. I was
He
thinking
could.
you were going to say him or Valdez.
Yeah, but I think Casillas was always the better keeper.
What about Czech?
In their primes. Also Czech. I was
Czech,
thinking
yeah.
about
His
that
prime.
before.
I
He's the
would
first
put
person I
Czech
thought of.
in my top 3
Yeah.
though.
He's
Not for Arsenal, but for Chelsea.
No,
in
he's
his prime.
Definitely not for
yeah,
us.
he's in the top
Oh yeah,
five.
because there's like
He's top five.
longevity, and then there's like in their prime.
Yeah.
Who's the
Yeah.
best. It's a different argument.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, going into next week, I believe Tuesday, right? Is it Tuesday? Right,
Yes.
John? So Tuesday coming up, less than a week, we have. You know what, Clayton? Can you do me a favor? Can you grab that for me? Just grab me the trophy.
Yes, bring it to the champion.
So
Those that are just again not watching, we're holding the trophy
so
for our
this
fantasy
is our
Premier
trophy.
League.
Clayton has it. Dan will get. You will get
Would
it.
just like to say, me and Dan are on the trophy.
Yeah. So Dan's currently holding the trophy. So we've been doing this for how many years?
His
now?
name's not
1, 2,
on there.
3,
Well,
4,
his
5.
name's the new one's
So
not
we're
on there
going
yet.
into our 7th season.
Yep.
Our 7th season. And I know a lot of people, for fantasy soccer, they do it every week. You go in, you select a new team every week, and there's a point system that way.
Well, they do the money one. You got to buy a certain salary.
Yeah,
buy
you
your
got a
players,
salary,
select
you got to
the
go,
players,
but you
like a
can
captain.
change it up every week, right? You can select the captain.
It's the most common fantasy
Yeah,
one. That
so-
you block yourself. You put that
Yeah.
there.
So what we did, what we have is every year for the past 6-7 years, we do a draft, a regular old snake draft like you would do for American football, for any fantasy sport. You get your player, you get your team, you stick with them through the year. You could pick up free agents, you could trade people, whatever it may be. So we want to ask you guys, give us some feedback. What do you think the top few picks should look like in the fantasy
And
draft?
just for context, this is some of the things that get scored. Like you get points for is like
Garrett's our commissioner. He will read the rule.
you get points for key passes, you get points for aerials, clearances, interception, goals against, saves, clean sheets, successful dribbles, accurate crosses. You get minus points for dispossessions. You get minus points for goals against. cards are minus, shots on target are points. So it's not just
Shutouts,
as much of just getting goals and assists. There's a lot more in-depth point scoring that goes along with it.
Yeah, like sometimes you can go look at a center back and be like, all right, he's not going to get key pass and score, but his clearances and his clean sheets might, keep him in averaging 8 points a game, which is honestly not bad. So just looking at the list, and we use a website called Fantrax. Shout out Fantrax. Right now, here are their rankings. I assume this is updated, right?
Yeah, I was going to break down just last year. The top 5 scoring-wise were points, not per game, but just points in total, were Harry Kane, Haaland, Trippier, Fernandez, and Saka for the top 5, just based on full points throughout the season.
Clayton texted me, sorry. I was laughing. So right now, the rankings coming into this season, if you texted me again, I swear to God, you motherfucker.
These are projected, by the way.
Projected. Haaland, no surprise at 1. Salah, Kane, Bruno Fernandes, and then Saka. So those are the top 5 projected. So out of those 5, what do you think? Again, I don't want to give too much away for us. I don't know what picks you guys.
I have 10.
I think I have 7.
I have 7.
So Matt does not have
So
7.
Matt doesn't have 7. So what do you have, Matt? Do you remember?
I think it's like 4 or
I'm looking.
something,
Hang
3 or
on.
4.
So
I'm outside of the top 5.
okay. So within these top 5, I think I might be the only one here who has a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Where do you guys put these players? What order do you think these top 5 are going to go? Or do you think someone else is going to sneak in there? I know De Bruyne is at 6, right? Projected. So, these top 5, these top 6. Yeah, we'll start with you. Where do you think these top 6 in the order they're going to go?
Top 6 in the order they're going to go?
I'm 4.
Oh, gosh.
There you go,
Clayton
Matson.
is 4.
I'm 4
All right.
pick.
So where do you?
It
All
doesn't
right.
really matter because who
Let's
Brian
go.
takes, Brian takes, and
Yeah.
whoever's left. Unless
So-
they listen to our podcast, the rest of the league, then they're
Yeah.
not going to know
So-
we're talking.
Brian,
So-
who are you going to take at 1? Let's just.
I'm
You're number 1. Just say who you're
Yeah, no,
gonna
it's not like anything.
Well,
goes
we're
back
gonna
to
go
you.
down the line here. So Garrett, what do you think is going to happen? Top 5 picks.
Who would I take with the first top 5?
Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I would
how do you think it's going to shape up?
Okay, this is under the assumption that Kane stays at Tottenham.
Yes, of course.
I would take Haaland at 1. I would take Kane at 2. I would take Salah at 3. I would take Bruno at 4, and I would take Saka at 5.
So De Bruyne doesn't get your top 5.
No, it's just so hard with how much he has to sit.
That's fair.
And he's also coming off that injury, which I think he's supposed
It's
to
also
help.
coming off a treble. Everybody has the treble hangover.
Yeah.
So those are my 5. I think it's so tough with City players other than Haaland because they rotate so much. It's always a gamble.
Okay, so I know that you guys mentioned I do have the number 1 pick. I'm like 98% sure I'm taking Haaland because why the hell wouldn't I? So I think
But
it would
Bruno
go.
Fernandez, dude, you got to take a Man United fan.
Yeah, I want to win the league for a change. So because I bottled it last year to Dan. I would say Haaland at 1, Kane at 2, Bruno at 3, Salah at 4, Saka at 5. Dan?
Yeah, yours? Oh, me?
Yeah, we'll go down the line.
I'm going to go, again, assuming Kane stays. Kane 1, Bruno 2, Haaland 3, Saka 4, Salah 5.
What a shout.
Where did you have Haaland?
He had Haaland at 3.
3.
Interesting.
I think he's so goal dependent.
That's fair.
I mean, I think he's going to score a lot of goals. Don't get me wrong. I just think like Kane provides a little bit more in terms of like assisting as well.
That's fair.
I'm going Haaland at 1, Salah at 2, Bruno at 3, Kane at 4, Saka at 5.
This is really just us telling Brian who to pick first here.
I mean,
Nobody's not taking Haaland.
Like I
at
just
1.
said, I'm 98% sure. So I think leading up into next week, what we're gonna do is if you have listened to us before every game, before that game week, we will make our predictions. All right, we do some score predictions. Every now and again, we do some bold predictions. We do some rated players. But next week we all have our teams picked. I think we can maybe run through them next week. Maybe give a little prediction of how we think our league is going to shake out. Maybe get everyone else who's listening or watching get their input on how our teams are. And obviously then we'll give our predictions going into game week 1. So I think that will be next week's episode. Yes, gentlemen?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yep.
So does anyone have anything to say to kick off this season, the first episode? Anyone have any final remarks here?
Those that are listening, thank you for listening again. And sorry for the delay if you listened to us before. Follow us on socials. We're League Pints at everything. And, yeah.
Yeah, you guys did it when we had the TikTok going. You guys crushed it on the TikTok.
We still have it.
Yeah,
It's inactive, but we have it.
Yeah. If you guys do comment to us on TikTok, and it's kind of like a controversial thing, I guarantee you Garrett will fire shots back at you.
Absolutely.
And
I'm
it's
ruthless.
and there is times I will pull up the TikToks and I will look at who we fired shots at, and it's hilarious, and I will say it on the podcast.
We're sorry about our American verbiture on everything.
Americanisms.
Clayton, how do you think it went? First one.
I think it went great. I had a lot of fun. I would have liked to have drank more than one beer.
Well, next time we'll have to.
We'll get multiple for you next time.
Yeah, next time it'll be. It's Premier League in pints.
It's not pints.
So we should
Multiple
all-
pints.
We all
Yeah.
should have
Technically,
plural.
There's multiple pints on the table.
Yeah, but individually we should have more.
All right. Let's cue this.
All right.
We're already at hour 15. Go
All
ahead.
right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. At League Pints there. Bye.